What if I told you to hit the iron and driver shots of your life? You don't even have to look at the golf ball. Hi everyone, my name's James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. On this channel we aim to help you get good at golf just one day at a time, Monday right through to Friday, unless we miss a day like we did the other day, and I apologise profusely, but we're going to give you a miles better tip to make you better at golf. So guys, if you want to hit really good iron shots, you want to hit nice straight iron shots just like that, and you want to compress the golf ball with your irons, say with an 8 iron, even if it's an old school TaylorMade RAC 8 iron. If you want to see why we're using these, guys, get over to my main channel, you will see it. We're here in Dallas today. We are at, where are we, Chris?
Las Colinas
Country Club. Not the one in Spain, which is one of my favourite courses in the world. It is the one here in Dallas, Dallas's premier golf venue. But if you want to hit better iron shots, there's so many things that you can do. So the first thing is it's really important to have a really strong setup. So what I mean by that is if I'm going to hit nice straight shots, the ball position needs to be nice and consistent. I need to make sure that if I've got an 8 iron like I've got here, the ball isn't at the front of the stance with kind of backward shaft lean here, because that's going to lead to all sorts of iffy shots, all sorts of bad strikes, and all sorts of different dispersions. If I have the ball too far back in the stance like this, again, it's going to lead to lots of different shots, lots of different horrible low shots. It's basically going to make sure we don't get a very consistent angle of attack into the ball. Angle of attack, or angle of approach as people say now, is so important to make sure you hit the best golf shots possible. So ball position is really important. Obviously it depends entirely how much loft you've got on the club as to where the ball position is. I like to have an 8 iron right in the middle of my stance. I also like to have a little bit of forward shaft lean as well. So this is pretty much as athletic as I want to get with it. From there I'll load up to the top of the backswing, and then I rotate down into the ball here. You'll see how I get forward shaft lean, I take away loft dynamically at impact, and from there I then hit down onto the ball and go through. So when you say don't look at the golf ball, this was actually a really good video that we saw Ali Taylor do. A few people have tried to do it as well, but Ali Taylor really nailed it. Ali, thank you so much for showing us how to show people how to get good at golf. But it's not reinventing the wheel, and that's the important thing about YouTube videos. If I look at where I want my low point to be, so with an iron, if I look just in front of the golf ball here, that is where I want my low point to be. I want to hit the ball, and then I want to take a nice credit card style divot just after. I don't want to hit viciously down on it, take a huge crater, and then not get the ball speed I want because there's too much ground in between the club and the ball. I just want to make sure that I sweep it away and then get that ground contact afterwards. Now, if your ground contact is before the ball, you're going to catch it heavy, you're not going to get the ball speed. If you don't make any ground contact, now that's an interesting one that you see people do, and if you're under pressure and you tee up the golf ball really high on par threes, this is something that we see so many mid-high handicappers do, and it's actually really wrong. Yes, you should tee up the golf ball when you're on a par three, you should give yourself the perfect lie, give yourself an advantage, but if I show you here, I see people tee up just like that. Now the issue there is, if I was to hit a nice compressed shot, this is what you get. You want to see the ball?
You've mastered those shots, James.
I have mastered that shot, but I've seen that happen, because what people are anticipating doing here is not only flicking the ball up in the air, but that's okay. Like if I'm under pressure, I'm thinking, oh, that's okay, I'll take that, it's gone a little bit left, but there's no pressure on that, it's gone about 90 yards, which for an 8 iron, let's be fair, isn't what you want to do. You want to make sure that you compress the ball down into the turf. I can only do that if the ball is located near the turf, and that's why it's really important that if you do tee up a golf ball on a par 3, which we all recommend you do, it's nice and low to the ground there, so that I can then compress down and get really good strikes. So that's with the irons. I'm going to look slightly forward of the ball. That's where I want my impact with the ground to be, and as the club's moving around the arc there, that's how you're going to get nice straight compressed irons. Now what about drivers? Chris is really good at this. Let's take a look.
So guys, James did mention that I was going to move on to driver.
Sorry guys, I thought he was going to bring in the 30 quid R7 Super Quad.
$30 actually, even cheaper than that. So I am going to be actually talking some drills that you can do. So here at Las Colinas we've got some fantastic setup really to do drills. So every single bay here has a nice towel to clean his clubs.
They do. This is what you want, isn't it?
It has tees, although we have used the tees. It does have an alignment stick in it, and these are things that you will have in your golf bag and you will take to the driving range. You don't necessarily need them to be provided.
Driver will be tomorrow, by the way.
Driver will be tomorrow. So we can use these to start to figure out what kind of things you're doing wrong, because you might get on there, you might hit a shot, especially on a range mat and through the winter, and we might hit it. Oh yeah, that felt pretty good.
To an untrained eye, that's okay, isn't it?
It's okay, but then we go onto the golf course and we know what happens. You hit those shots where you do exactly the same, but it doesn't go anywhere near as far because the ground's wet at the minute. We know that they're then going to take a divot. We know we're not going to get the strike, and that's the problem. On the range mats, we're not sure, are we hitting after the ball, we're hitting before, what are we doing, are we early releasing? We need to figure out what your pattern is to help you improve and get good at golf. James also mentioned about a tee, and that's a prime example of people, especially on par threes, we do advise you to tee the ball up, but like James mentioned, often people go under or they catch it very high on that club face. So we hit it here right at the top, so if we don't lean back and we do hit down, sometimes we catch it there, right at the top. Your 8-iron normally goes, let's say 140, you hit it on a par 3 and it only goes 120. And the reason being is because, again, we're not controlling that low point at the right place.
Or dynamic loft as well.
Or the dynamic loft with that tee. So you will have a towel on your golf bag, so nice and easy we can use this to start to see what you are doing and where you are impacting the ground. So if I use this nice clean towel here at Las Colinas.
They've even put like a little line on the front for the drills. It's like they knew we were coming.
Exactly.
They knew to expect the drill master.
They certainly did. It's like I've never done this before. So we're going to put that just over a club width behind the ball, so in between that. And what we're trying to do, if you're somebody who comes and hangs back a little bit, we'll start to catch the towel. So we'll catch your towel, it's not going to do any damage, it's nice and soft, but you're going to get some feedback of where you're impacting it. What you should start to see is when you hit a golf shot, we should be hitting down, and I won't be striking that towel. You'll see straight away that I hit down. That ball came out a lot lower and a lot more direct towards our target. So you're more than likely going to see more distance, but also more spin control. Are you somebody who hits the ball, it lands on the green and it runs 20 yards through? This will help you generate better spin, more consistent spin, so when you land on the green, it might take one big jump even, and then stop. And that's what we want to do. That is how we are going to get better at golf, because that is when we can start attacking the pins a little bit more. Once we've done this drill, we can start to take this away and start to think about, right,
Nicely folded, sir.
I know that I want to be taking a divot after the golf ball. So I don't want to be hanging back, for example here, if that tee was in front of my ball, I don't want to be hanging back here. Oh yeah, again, a reasonable strike because I'm on a mat. This is not a finished position you would see from any tour professional.
No.
And the tee has not moved. So the tee on the ground, we want to see, if I'm hitting down and through that golf ball, you should see when I strike this golf ball, I'm going to take that tee with me. So it's going to be more than likely broken tees on there. You might have some broken tees in your bag, but it's perfect, it's the perfect time even, for you to be able to do that and start to get hitting down through the golf ball, hitting more consistently into the ball, into this kind of impact position where we'll see that your start line will become better, your flight will become better, and you'll start to hit much better iron shots.